I will show you how I went from a below average reading speed of 220 words per minute to 740 with a 75% comprehension using my Kindle. I've achieved this increase in reading speed in only 5 days with 20 minutes of practice every single day. That means a novel that used to take me 9 hours to read, I can now read in 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm Louis V, and on this channel I do try and review stuff so that you can only do and buy what works. Why would you want to read faster? For most people, it's either to absorb information much quicker or to reduce the amount of time and emotional investment they put into a piece of content. For me, it was much more personal. When I was diagnosed with blood cancer, I had to absorb as much up-to-date information as I possibly can in the shortest amount of time. My life may depend on it. Write a comment below. What is your reason for wanting to read faster? I promise I will read every single one of them. The first step is to set your Kindle font size to something that is comfortable for you, that you can read without straining your eyes too much. Once you've set the font size, it will be the same for all books you're reading, which makes it much easier to have a constant speed and improve it over time. The next step is to reduce or eliminate subvocalisation. That is that little voice in your head that says the words as you are reading them. The problem with it is that most people can only speak 150 words per minute, and reading with that voice in your head is about double the speaking speed, on average about 250 words per minute. If you can just reduce or eliminate it completely, you can already increase your reading speed tremendously by just doing this one thing. My reading speed increased to 340 words per minute when I finally got it right to do this. Now, this is not as easy as you might think. It's incredibly uncomfortable at the beginning, but what I found that worked the best is to just press my tongue slightly against my front teeth, like this. Very likely you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but that actually reminded me not to say the words as I was reading them. The next phase is to use your peripheral vision more effectively. If you look at the first word and you look at the last word on a page, to your left and to your right is going to be some empty space your eye is still going to see. To increase your reading speed, instead look at the second or the third word or the second or third last word as your start and stop points. Your eye will still pick up the first 2 or 3 words and the last 2 or 3 words without you actually looking at it. Now, to train yourself to do it on a paper book is much easier. You can just draw lines for your eyes to focus on. With a Kindle, it is slightly trickier, but I came up with a way to do the exact same thing without ruining your touchscreen. All you will need is some thread, clear tape, and your Kindle, of course. Position the thread over the second word and the second last word, and just stick it with some sticky tape to the back of it, pop it back in the cover, and you've got some guidelines to focus on. And just practicing this can already increase your reading speed. Once you're comfortable with step 1 to 3, your reading speed should be double or could even be triple than your baseline starting speed. Mine went from 220 words per minute to 480 at this point. In this phase of your speed reading journey, your eye movement becomes important. Normally our eyes doesn't move smoothly from left to right or right to left. It moves in a jagged fashion. Let me try to show you. See, if I just move my eyes, it doesn't really move very smoothly. But if I just add a tracker, or some people call it a pacer, look at the difference. Suddenly my eye starts moving much more smoothly, and that is really important when you want to speed read, because your eyes will go back and forth without you even realizing it, and that slows you down massively. Now, some of the best speed readers in the world, in fact the world record holder, have stated that by just adding a pacer to your reading, you can increase your reading speed with up to 20% without doing anything else. And when I've added this, my reading speed went from 480 words per minute to 740 words per minute. On paper books, it's much easier. You can just use your finger to do that. On a Kindle, it really messes it up if you try to use your finger and you touch the screen accidentally. So what I just use a pen with a cap on or a clutch pencil with a lead retracted as a pacer, and I use it between the guideline threads that I've already installed on my Kindle. Once you follow these 4 steps and you've practiced it for a little bit, within the first 5 days you should be able to read at least 3 to 4 times faster than your baseline speed when you started. The trick now is, how do you remember the bits that you've read that's important to you? To learn how I use a second brain to remember everything, watch this video here. If it's not there yet, it will be in a few days. If you subscribe, you'll know the moment that it drops.